and all the glamour of that. But a lot of our time is spent fundraising.
It's a charity. All the mountain rescue teams in the country are separate charities, and they all do their own fundraising. So that's standing on street corners, rattling tins, standing outside the supermarket, rattling tins.
But today, Edale Mountain Rescue are doing what they do best.
It's Sunday afternoon, and we've been called out to somebody with some kind of ankle injury on that hill over there.
Our bread and butter work is walkers that have slipped on stiles and muddy ground and have got lower leg injuries. So our team members are very adept at putting dislocated ankles back in place.
We get a lot of lower leg injuries. They are often ankle injuries, fractures, twisted ankles, sprained ankles, and it's often walkers coming off the hill.
Even though the casualty has reported a broken ankle, the team must carry a full medical bag for any eventuality.
At the end of the day, until you actually get on scene, you've no idea what else is going on or what's wrong with the casualty.
It's an exhausting 40-minute hike over wet and slippery terrain to reach the casualty.
Tim and I first on scene, and she was up on a very muddy footpath. She'd fallen walking, coming down the hill, slipped and hurt her ankle.
I'm guessing right ankle?
Gemma. Gemma, OK, I'm Freddie. This is Timbo.
Cool.
He hasn't introduced himself.
Gemma and her partner had been enjoying a walk in the hills when she fell.
Ambulance doctor. Catch.
Unable to walk and miles from the nearest road, the Edale Mountain Rescue Team are Gemma's only option to get to safety.
She was in a lot of pain.
Take a breath.
All right. It's all right, you're doing absolutely fine there. All right.
Big, deep breaths.
Just keep taking some deep breaths on that.
Freddie gives her Entonox, a gas often used in childbirth, to alleviate the pain. They also need to keep her warm in the freezing conditions whilst they complete their medical assessment.
Does this... Do you try to got any zips or anything? Can we just roll them up a bit? Yeah, fine.
Right, OK. Gemma, can you just lift your leg up?
Excellent.
This is going to hurt.
I didn't know whether she'd broken it or just sprained it, but she was in a lot of pain with that, a lot of pain. We struggled to get a splint on it because it was so painful, despite the fact that we'd given her some pain relief.
Just take some really... Gemma.
No,
Gemma. Just take some really nice deep breaths on that. We need to get this fairly firm so it doesn't get moved about on the stretcher. It's that side, that bit on the side, isn't it?
With Gemma still in a lot of pain, the team must find a way to get her off the hill to safety.
Yep.
Hill walker Gemma has slipped on a muddy track and is unable to move. Edale Mountain Rescue have given her pain relief and are waiting for other members of the team to bring the stretcher so they can get her off the hill to hospital.
I didn't know whether she'd broken it or just sprained it, but she was in a lot of pain with that, a lot of pain.
But it's getting dark and it's bitterly cold. Finally, the other team members arrive, carrying the 20-kilo stretcher.
We got there quite late on compared to the other vehicles, because from where I come from, it's quite a way. So we went up the stretcher from the farm, and by the time we got there, the initial CAS care had been done.
And blasted one.
So the job now is to move Gemma carefully onto the stretcher and start the journey down.
The light was fading, so it was quite a rushed and quick job.
Excellent, well done. All right, Gemma. Yeah, we're going to wrap that round you.
Once we got on the stretcher, the conditions underfoot were quite muddy, so we were quite careful coming down the hill.
Don't fall over there, so that's like a cave.
It takes time and a little bit of training and just care, really, because we don't want to become casualties ourselves.
the team finally get Gemma off the hill, just before it gets dark.
We carried her down to the vehicle and put her into our sort of converted ambulance to warm her up, and then the family then took her to hospital.
The volunteers have been out in the freezing cold for over 4 hours, and it will be another hour at least before they can get home.
It's not just the job, it's not just getting there, not just the job itself, but then after that you have a whole load of repacking, replacing equipment that's been used, and we keep spare bags and spare equipment so we can cycle things over. But everything that was used on that particular occasion was caked in mud, so it all went back into the wash and then into the drying room, and you restock the vehicle. So all that extra bit at the end is the stuff that people don't really realise that takes ages, and that happens with every job.
But knowing Gemma is safe makes it all worthwhile.
She made the effort to come out and visit us when we were in Halitage fundraising and give us a donation, so we were pleased with that. Nice to see her back on her feet and back out walking.